Thought for the day. Accountability is the glue that ties commitment to results.
Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina Aina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being.
In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we talk about having an accountability group to achieve our biggest goals in our personal and professional lives. Have a listen.
Honestly, guys, I owe a lot of my success to my accountability group. I don't think I'd be able to accomplish half of the things that I do in a year if it wasn't for them. And keep in mind, that's coming from somebody who is fairly on top of things and fairly consistent and persistent with everything that I'm working on. But I definitely think an accountability group is a must, especially if you're somebody like me who works a 9 to 5 and is juggling multiple side hustles too. In order for you to really stay on top of things, you're definitely going to need to be laser focused and also have some support along the way, which is where an accountability group comes in. An accountability group is a group of people that come together with a common or shared interest, which is supporting everybody in the group to hit their goals. So the people that are members of an accountability group are going to come together on an established cadence, an established schedule, and basically what they're going to do is outline what their goals are and give updates on their progress. And the role of the group is really to support each individual along their journey of trying to attain their goals. Now, an accountability group isn't necessarily the same thing as a mastermind. However, I do definitely think that the best accountability groups have elements of both. A mastermind traditionally is more concerned with solving a problem, having a bunch of people come together to brainstorm solutions, as opposed to necessarily holding people accountable. But I definitely know in my accountability group, and one of the things that I value so much about it is there's that element of, putting all of our heads together to help solve a problem that may be preventing somebody from achieving their goals. Now, there are obviously a ton of benefits to an accountability group, but just to recap some of the top benefits that I found is that it provides you with emotional support, it keeps you on track, you actually learn and grow as you receive feedback. You learn how to give feedback to other people, which I think is such an important skill. It helps you in being able to set the right goals because not all goals are created equally. And lastly, studies show that an accountability group will make you more likely to achieve your goals, in some cases by up to 40%. So if you were sleeping on accountability groups before, don't. Now, before we get into some of the tips for what makes a truly successful accountability group, and this is important for a couple of different reasons. Personally, I feel like an accountability group should feel intimate. It should feel like an intimate environment. The reason being, first and foremost, if there's too many people involved, it can lead to a lot of distractions and time wasted during meetings. And the second component is I feel like if it's not an intimate environment, then people are going to be less likely to share. They might be more likely to just hold back. And they can hold back in a couple of different ways. When it's a big group, it's probably going to take people a while to feel like they know everybody and again, really feel comfortable around them. So they might not lay out all their cards on the table, which is exactly what you need people to do during an accountability group. And the flip side of that coin is when there's a big group of people might be a little bit more hesitant to give feedback. They might feel like, oh, I don't want to call this person out in front of all these people. Like maybe they'll feel embarrassed. So people might be more likely to hold back on the feedback that they have. And again, both of those elements are just a recipe for a not successful environment, a not successful accountability group that's actually going to give everybody involved what they truly need. So again, for me, you definitely want to cultivate this feeling of a tight-knit group, create a feeling of just trust and a safe environment for everybody involved. And personally, I think that is more likely to happen when the circle is smaller. My next tip is to define your group. You really need to establish who is your group for? Who is it serving? Is this accountability group strictly for people trying to move up in their corporate careers? Is it for 5-figure entrepreneurs that are trying to become 6-figure entrepreneurs? It's really important to be able to define who it is for. And one of the main reasons is because if you can clearly articulate, if you can clearly define who your accountability is for, then it'll actually help you in attracting the right people to your accountability group. And it'll help you with developing structure for your accountability group. It will specifically really help you in outlining the rules and your agenda, which is my next point. In order for your accountability group to really be successful, you'll likely have to set some guiding principles or rules and have a pretty tight-knit agenda.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.